everyone! In this video, I'm going to explain how we are going to do our impromptu speeches using Zoom. Now, when we originally were planning to do these impromptu speeches, we were supposed to be in person and it was just going to be a whole lot easier. But the times have changed and so we must change with it. As a result, we're going to be using Zoom to do our impromptu speeches. Here's how that's going to work. We have 2 days scheduled for the impromptu speeches, and you are going to be signing up to speak on one of those 2 days. On your speech day, when it comes to be your turn, I am going to send you 2 different prompts using the private messaging feature on Zoom. After I send you those 2 prompts, you will have 1 minute to select one of those 2 prompts and prepare your remarks about that prompt. Now, all of these prompts are going to be fairly easy for anyone to do. It's going to be things like baseball is better than football and Italian food is better than Mexican food, that sort of thing. And so your job is to merely agree or disagree with the statement, you can do either, and then come up with 3 reasons why you agree or disagree with that statement. So for example, if I was to pull one of these just randomly as an example, this one says, oopsie, this one says, potato chips are better than tortilla chips. So my job as a speaker, if I was to choose that prompt, what would be to determine whether or not I believe that potato chips are better than tortilla chips, and I think that they are. And so then I would come up with 3 reasons why potato chips are better than tortilla chips, and that would be my speech. Now, that sounds a bit challenging still, because you only have 1 minute to make a 3 to 4 minute speech. And this is why I say that structure is so important when it comes to these impromptu speeches. As long as you know how a speech should be structured, you'll be fine, right? You just have to come up with those 3 reasons and kind of plug and play. So as long as you have things like an attention getter, a preview statement, transitions between each of your main points, a review statement at the end, and a conclusion, you'll be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate how these impromptu speeches are going to work by doing one myself. And so I'm going to be picking my topic out of the pink bag of doom, and this is how I'm going to be selecting your topics as well. I'm going to be reaching in, grabbing 2, and then sending you the text version of those 2 prompts. And after I send you those 2 prompts, you will choose one of them and start your 1 minute of preparation time. Now, while you're preparing your speech, I'm going to be giving you time signals as you're preparing. So I'll let you know when you've used 30 seconds of your preparation time, and then when your 1 minute has elapsed, you will start your speech. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate how this works by picking 2 of the topics out of the speech, or out of the bag. Oops, picked 3 accidentally. So let's see, I got my 2 topics here, and I'm going to pick this one. And so my 1 minute starts now. I have about 20 seconds left. So that was my 1 minute of preparation time. And now I am going to start my actual speech. So, start my timer. A couple weeks ago, I went to IHOP for breakfast, and when I was looking at the menu, I was trying to decide whether I wanted to have waffles or pancakes that morning. And ultimately, I decided that I wanted waffles because they are so much better than pancakes. And that's what I thought of when I saw my prompt today, that waffles are better than pancakes. And I agree with this statement wholeheartedly. And we're going to take a look at how waffles are better than pancakes using 3 examples. First, we're going to talk about the structure of the waffle versus the pancake. Then we're going to talk about the texture of both. And finally, talk about the toppings that you can have on either. So first, let's take a look at the structure of the waffles versus the pancakes. Now, waffles and pancakes are made of similar stuff, right? A lot of the same ingredients, but they have very different structures. Waffles have all of those little holes in them that can capture all of the goodness of the toppings that we'll talk about later. Whereas with pancakes, it's just one big flat disc, and anything that you put on top of it is just going to slip and slide all over the place, and it just creates a huge mess. Whereas the waffles, like I said, have those holes that are going to capture everything and just keep all of that yummy, ooey gooey deliciousness all together for you in one magical bite. Now, in addition to having the better structure, waffles are also better than pancakes because they're crunchier. They have a better texture overall. And when you cook a waffle versus cooking pancakes, right? Pancakes tend to get really soggy and they're really moist, and it's just not a very pleasant mouth experience. Whereas with waffles, you get a nice crunch, you get that texture, and it's just a greater variety for your mouth. And then finally, when it comes to waffles versus pancakes, usually restaurants offer more toppings for waffles versus pancakes. For example, you tend to see more waffles with lots of fruit and whipped cream and syrup and all sorts of fun things, rather than seeing those toppings offered on pancakes. Usually when you have pancakes, you just have butter and syrup and that's it. But with waffles, there is so much more variety to be had. So today, we talked about why waffles are better than pancakes. And we talked about how waffles have the holes that can hold all of that yummy syrup and all of those toppings, how waffles are crunchier than pancakes and don't get soggy very easily, and how the waffles tend to have more topping options available than the pancakes do. So the next time that you are able to go out for breakfast and you have to make this tough decision between waffles and pancakes, I hope you'll make the right decision. Ooh, and that was just 3 minutes. So that's it. It's a 3 to 4 minute speech where you just have to kind of riff on the different aspects of whatever argument it is that you're making. I could have just as easily decided to say that pancakes were better than waffles, but I just decided to go one way and I had to defend my argument. So I hope that helps when it comes to you doing your own impromptu speeches, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with.